12. The blood of the earth, water. 12. 地球的血液, soy. Can we perceive the existence of the greatest creator through water? To answer this question, first, we will have a look at the properties of water, the functions of water, and the circulation of water. Water is composed of countless water molecules that are made up of one oxygen atom and two hydrogen atoms. One side of the water molecule, the side with hydrogen atoms, is the anode, and the other side is the cathode. Since like charges repel each other, but opposite ones attract, then the anode of a water molecule is linked to the cathode of another water molecule. As a result, as long as they exist in the same place, container, all the water molecules will be linked together and form the water that we commonly refer to because all the molecules have anodes and cathodes. Pure water is colorless, tasteless, and odorless. Its pH value is 7, neither acidic nor alkaline. Water is the only substance in nature that can exist in three forms: solid, liquid, and gas. It has greater solubility than any other liquid. So, water can transport valuable chemical elements, minerals, and nutrients to plants, animals, and the human body very easily. Water freezes and changes into a solid state at 0 degrees Celsius and becomes boiling water at 100 degrees Celsius. When the surface of water is irradiated by heat, the water molecules on the surface can become vapor and change into a gas state. Water can absorb and disperse heat. Water has very strong surface tension. When the sun shines on the water surface, the heated water will evaporate and become vapor, which can continuously rise in the troposphere until the strong wind brings it to the distant sky over the land, where the rising warm air current from the heated land surface will force it to continue the ascent until it meets the cold air current. The temperature and the vapor content decrease dramatically in the troposphere with the increase of altitude. When vapor meets the cold air current, it will revert to the state of liquid. When the temperature is cold enough, the vapor will change into minute crystal particles and form clouds when combined with dust, soot, and salt crystals. When these minute water granules combine to form larger water drops, they will fall to the ground in the form of rain as a result of the gravitation of the earth. Some of the falling rain returns to the oceans through the brooks and rivers, while some infiltrates underground to become groundwater. The groundwater can flow out to become surface water after hundreds of years, and finally returns to the oceans. Some of the rain immediately changes into vapor after falling to the ground. The Earth is a closed system for the circulation of water. The total amount of water on Earth will neither increase nor decrease. Therefore, there will be no change in the total amount of water on Earth, no matter whether it is absorbed by plants, animals, and humans, or used to wash diapers, or has evaporated and risen up in the sky. Whether it has flowed into sewage pipes or infiltrated underground. Perhaps the water molecule you are drinking was once drunk by Jesus or Sakyamuni, or used to wash a mother's diapers. The total amount of water on Earth is 326 million cubic miles, of which the ocean takes up 97.24%, glaciers and icebergs account for 2.14%, groundwater accounts for 0.61%, and rivers only account for 0.0001%. Let's see if there is the greatest creator in water accordingly. Without water, the Earth is nothing but a lifeless desert. No matter how capable humans are, they cannot create water. In addition, people would have perished long ago without water, let alone create it. That is to say, the water on Earth is created by someone who does not need water. Who can exist without water? Someone wise may claim that water is not created. It is something that has existed on Earth since time immemorial. If this opinion is correct, we can be sure that the Earth has neither past nor future but is timeless in existence. Then astronomers and scientists' assertion that the Earth was born 4.6 billion years ago is purely a traveler's tale. Furthermore, since the Earth has existed since time immemorial and the Earth is only a small component of the universe, there will be no question of the birth of the universe, and the universe must also have existed since time immemorial. Since the universe has no beginning, then all the celestial bodies and galaxies in the universe must be timeless and eternal. So it is absolutely impossible for meteorites to fall on the Earth. Otherwise, the meteorites may have fallen from nowhere. Now that meteorites have fallen on the Earth, it means that changes have occurred in space, or certain celestial bodies have encountered disaster. The disaster that befalls on one celestial body will, in turn, affect the surrounding celestial bodies and trigger changes in other related celestial bodies. Thus, will some celestial bodies perish someday? Will some new celestial bodies come into being? If a celestial body comes and goes, then undoubtedly the Earth can also come and go. If the Earth has a beginning, it is impossible that the Earth has possessed all the things now on Earth from the very beginning. There must have been a process of generation and development. So, where does water come from? If we say that the water on Earth has come into being naturally, then the following questions need to be answered. Why is water colorless, tasteless, and odorless? What if water has color, for example, if water is red or black? What if water has taste, for example, if water is spicy, sour, or astringent? What if water has a smell, for example, if water emanates a fragrant or fishy smell? Why does water have very powerful solubility? What will happen if water cannot dissolve the food we have eaten and the drugs we have taken? If water cannot dissolve the red blood cells and white blood cells growing in the marrow, and if water cannot dissolve minerals, chemicals, and other nutritional substances? Why does the pH value of purified water stand at 7? What will happen if the pH value is smaller or greater than 7? Why does water have 3 states: gas, liquid, and solid? What will happen if water is only in the state of liquid and no gaseous or solid state? Will there be changes in the climate on Earth if water cannot turn into vapor? Can we still see the blue sky, white clouds, morning or evening glows? If water cannot change into a solid state at low temperatures and form a layer of ice on the lake surface to block the harsh cold, will the fish not be frozen to death? How much land will be left if the ice that accounts for 2.14% of the total water amount has melted into water? Why does water have a lower density in its solid state compared to its liquid state? Assuming that the density of solid water is greater than that of liquid water, the ice formed on the surface of a river will continuously sink. The rivers, lakes, and oceans will all turn into blocks of ice. When will the heat of the sun melt the ice? And will there still be life in the fish, shrimp, turtles, and other creatures frozen in the ice? Why does water have a powerful function in absorbing and releasing heat? If water cannot absorb heat, the temperature in areas close to the equator during summer would be enough to cause heat stroke in animals and humans. The heat from our car engines would not be carried away by water, and thermal expansion would cause the engine pistons to seize in the cylinder. If water does not have a strong heat dissipation function, winter and temperate regions, especially coastal areas, would become extremely cold, and the heat inside the engine would not dissipate. Why does water boil at 100 degrees Celsius? If water could boil at 20 degrees Celsius instead of 100 degrees Celsius, many rivers, lakes, and oceans would become steam pots, and we could directly catch cooked fish from them to eat. If water boiled at 150 degrees Celsius, we would not be able to cook food using ordinary pots, and we would not be able to cook food at all in areas above 3,000 meters above sea level. Why does water have a very strong surface tension? If water did not have a very strong surface tension, how could it be absorbed by the root systems of plants and enter the veins of trees to bring nutrients to leaves and fruits? How could it move inside the capillary vessels of humans and animals and transport nutrients to the surface layer of skin and internal organs? Well, that's enough about water for now. Just imagine, if water were not created by the greatest creator through careful arrangement, would it be possible for nature to create water with the special functions mentioned above?